I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested, and I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy. Alright? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children victims that are going.
Here we go again, guys. Here we go. It's another day to bring to the front everyone who participated in or saw what was happening at Diddy's parties and said nothing. Okay, in one of the allegations that was brought up against Diddy recently, Allison Carter, a survivor, described Diddy's parties as not merely intimate gatherings, but as involving satanic ritual orgies. Then she went on to mention a couple of celebs in her affidavit of truth, and one of them was Denzel Washington. I know you all think his name is Denzel, but he said his mama named him Denzel, so I'm gonna call him Denzel. Okay, I'm back. And you know what? There's no escaping for Denzel because there's a bunch of videos online where Ali says the same thing. Girl, I know a lot of you all will say that Saint Denzel would never be like Diddy. So how about we just get right into this tea and you'll be the judge of that. So after Diddy was arrested, one of the people who commented on his arrest was Allison Carter. And for those who recall, Ali was actually trending 3 years ago when she talked about what happened to kids at Diddy's parties. At the time when she talked about her incident, people didn't believe, and she said that after gaining media attention in 2020, she and her family lost their home and struggled to rebuild their lives. Back then, she also attempted to pursue legal action against Riverside County Child Protective Services, alleging their involvement in what happened to her, but claimed her evidence was ignored. Well, after Diddy's case blew up, Ali was back on our timelines telling us the same thing she said 3 years ago when nobody believed her. In recent interviews and statements, Ali Carter has once again been accusing Diddy of being involved in exploitative activities, claiming that these incidents took place during elite parties involving powerful figures from the entertainment industry like Denzel Washington. And when it comes to Ali, her main concern is actually how the plight of children often gets overlooked. And what she is saying even now is that we are not focusing on the children enough.
Still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering their asses. All the adults are, I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual orgies.
There's also an affidavit that has been making rounds online where Ali describes an after party from one of Diddy's parties, and she says that some of the celebrities present were Brian Christopher Williams, aka Birdman, aka Baby, Denzel Hayes Washington, Sean Love Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, and JCL Amon Robinson, aka Young Jock. Allegedly, at this party, there were body cakes, which means that the kids would lie on a table and people would put food on them, and then the partygoers would eat the food off the naked kids, and there were a lot of celebrities at this party. Then once everyone was searched and inside, the DJ sounded the music and the lights flashed, signaling that everyone was in, and the doors were closed, and this signaled that the orgy could begin. Ali also said that the kids that had been brought to the party were brought there to be party favors. Based on what she wrote in her affidavit of truth, favors means that the kids are literally set on a table and had to wait for people to come choose them. And once they were done having sex, the kids were placed back on the party favor table, and then someone else could come and pick them out from the table and repeat the process. She then goes on to say, I had to have sex with so many people that night, I cannot remember them all. And some of the other alters hold those memories. Partygoers went into a frenzy/orgy mindset once the DJ started the music and turned on the flashing lights. There were fetishes happening everywhere, and they kind of separated them into areas where specific fetishes were happening. For instance, the fetish of having X in blood was in one area, while having the same with animals was in another area. People were just in a crazed frenzy. When the music started, I was sitting on the party favor table. The main room was big, like a ballroom. There were outlying doors around the edges of the room. Some of the doors were shut, but you could still see the table on the food, the party favor table, and many other things. There were different types of parties happening in different areas of the house. Honey, when I tell you that Ali had one of the worst experiences, I mean exactly that. She was talking about how one of the top comedians who was at the party was complaining that he did an hour-long set, but there was no one to hook up with backstage. According to Ali, this comedian broke the no anal rule and had his way with her anyway and just laughed. Then she screamed for her handler and everyone was laughing, and she ended up getting in trouble. She also said that she was then told to hook up on the table with the girl who was her age, and then they brought in donkeys and burros and they did you know what with them. I know, that is so disgusting. Donkeys and burros? Come on, son. Ali actually said that there were several girls that had to have relations with animals while everyone watched, and she and another girl ended up throwing up afterward, and they rubbed their faces in each other's vomit as a punishment.
OMG.
I really can't, y'all. girl. Honestly, everything that Ali was talking about seems so unreal. And it's even worse when I imagine that there were people there, including celebrities, including Denzel Washington, watching what was happening. I mean, how sick can people actually be? Girl, I don't know for sure if Denzel was actually present during that particular party, but one thing I can tell you is that Denzel has been to Diddy's parties. For starters, there have been reports saying that one time during a Diddy party, Denzel screamed at Diddy saying, "You don't respect anyone." Before leaving the party he had attended with his wife in 2003. Apparently, he and Pauletta had been partying until dawn, and they had seen something and stormed out. Well, the incident that night didn't appear to affect their friendship, as Diddy and Denzel have been seen together through the years at various public events, including basketball games and former President Barack Obama's 2009 inauguration. I also know that Denzel was at the parties, allegedly, because Brandon T. Jackson said that Denzel advised him to always leave Hollywood parties before the devil gets there. He said on the Breaking the Machine podcast, "Denzel always told me, when we be at the parties, you leave 30 minutes before the devil get there." Okay, always remember that Denzel would leave the parties early. So what exactly did Denzel witness at the parties that he had to tell Brandon to always leave 30 minutes before the devil got there? Was it the things that Ali was talking about involving children? The ones she claims Denzel allegedly witnessed? Well, there are people who have said that there are things that Ali Carter has said that seem very much like they could be true. But on the other hand, she has also said some extremely off-the-wall, crazy things that do not add up. So it kind of leads them to believe maybe she's delusional and suffering from a mental condition, especially when it comes to Denzel, aka Denzel. Some people are just having a hard time believing that he could be such a monster. But we also have people saying that Denzel is not the saint he has been painted to be. First of all, when it comes to Denzel, there have been cheating rumors going all the way back to the 90s, but they really blew up in 2003 when there were reports that Denzel had an affair with his out-of-time co-star Sanaa Lathan. The tea back then was that Sanaa's phone butt-dialed somebody while she was in the back of a limo about to get it in with Denzel, and she didn't even know her phone had called the person and left a voicemail about 3 minutes long. It was also rumored that she even got pregnant by Denzel, but had to get rid of the pregnancy. Allegedly. Denzel was also telling Sanaa that he was going to leave Pauletta and they were going to be the new power couple. Child. There was also an incident involving Eva Mendes, and allegedly, after she knew about what was going on with Sanaa, Eva broke things off. In 2007, there was another report saying that Denzel was spotted in Vegas at an after party for the Mayweather-De La Hoya fight with a young hostess. According to the source, Denzel left with the aspiring actress and they spent the night together at the private mansion residence where the party was held. Then there was someone who spilled that he saw Denzel a few times in Firefly in Studio City. Apparently, allegedly, he had a house close to the restaurant up in the hills, and the 3 times the person saw Denzel, he was sitting way in the back in the outside sitting area, and each time he had about 3 young white ladies hanging off of him. Based on what that person spilled, the girls were just staring at him and all like he was a king or something. As a matter of fact, there have been a bunch of other cheating scandals that mostly involved younger women. But for those who recall, the most scandalous incident was in 2013 when another cheating scandal broke the internet. Based on reports and photos that were apparently being shopped for sale, Denzel was sitting on a couch with the young lady, and then throughout the series of pictures, he grabbed her arm and pulled her in for a kiss on the lips in one of them. The cheating scandal allegedly made Pauletta move to New York while Denzel stayed in Los Angeles. But somehow, Denzel managed to talk himself out of that scandalous situation. This must have happened in the Mississippi Masala days. Well, based on these tendencies, there are people who have said that they see how Denzel may have been part and parcel of Diddy's parties. And while after some time he probably decided to be leaving early, he knew exactly what was going on. But what I'm personally struggling with is the allegation from Ali that he was present while kids were being laid on tables and subjected to the most disgusting things. Like, Denzel really sat through that and did nothing about it? Allegedly. And he continues to say nothing about it? Child, this entire whistleblowing is just messed up. But you let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below.